Fear is the path to the dark side.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Drew Pearson. We bring you this special radio television broadcast in order to give you the very latest information on an amazing phenomenon, the arrival of a spaceship in Washington. The government and Defense Department officials are concerned by reports of panic in several large eastern cities. I am authorized to assure you that so far there is no reasonable cause for alarm. The rumors of invading armies and mass destruction are based on hysteria and are absolutely false. I repeat, these rumors are absolutely false.
I can't wait to see what the next scare is going to be.
It's going to have something to do with aliens, I guarantee you that. All right, we got to move on.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
Enough to have men of science. These scientists are too often ignored or misunderstood. We must get leaders from every field, the finest minds in the world.
I leave that in your hands.
One thing, Mr. Thackeray. Suppose this group should reject your proposals. What is the alternative?
I'm afraid there is no alternative. In such a case, the planet Earth would have to be eliminated.
Such power exists?
I assure you, such power exists.
With a tinfoil hat as opposed to someone who's deeply concerned about real environmental issues.
I think this tells you something about the state of the scientific community, the so-called consensus about global warming that you have. And this is just the next stage of preposterous in the global warming story, which keeps changing names and definitions as new evidence.
NASA was involved.
As new evidence rolls in, Michael Crichton, the novelist, once wrote a wonderful essay called Aliens Cause Global Warming, just showing the preposterousness of a lot of, the thinking that goes into the so-called consensus science of global warming. And his point was, if you believe in aliens, you're just as likely to believe in global warming, and and a few years later, it turns out he's proven right.
Kevin, I believe in global warming. I just don't believe that the Himalayan glaciers are going to completely melt by the year 2025. I think the science doesn't really give us enough to be able to put our hand on exactly how serious this is.
Well, the thing about global warming is it's not a scientific question, it's a political question. You can totally buy the scientific basis of anthropogenic global warming and still not think that the policies that Al Gore is trying to sell the world are good. It's one thing to believe in global warming. It's another thing to believe that some magical UN climate cop is going to adopt some policies that are going to fix the problem in some sort of economic and effective way. And that's the nonsensical position.
No, the issue is...
Right, but the right cripples that conversation when they suggest that anyone who actually does believe in global warming is absurd, that it doesn't even exist. So
it's usually the left who says that it's usually the left that says that if you believe in global warming, you basically believe in flat Earth. Well, in the 1970s, we were supposed to believe in global cooling. In the 1980s, it was a nuclear winter. In the 1990s, it was mad cow disease. Global warming was the flavor of the decade. I can't wait to see what the next scare is going to be.
It's going to have something to do with aliens, I guarantee you that. All right, we got to move on.
This article, I don't even hardly want to mention it because I'd have to spend an hour on it. If you're a new listener, this is not a joke. I'm not joking. This is real. It's at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. Pay your carbon taxes to Al Gore or space aliens will attack. The biggest newspaper in England and in Europe, that's how they communicate with each other in Europe, is English. It's the world language for folks that don't get taught English in public schools here in the U.S., part of the balkanization program. Pay your carbon taxes to Al Gore or space aliens will attack. A NASA program funded by NASA's Planetary Science Division. This is the London Guardian. Our article breaks it down, but here's the London Guardian. Aliens may destroy humanity, protect other civilizations, say scientists. And it says humans are parasites and evil. You see the children's cartoons they produce where it shows humans blasting off into space and aliens kill us because we're a parasite. I mean, they're telling you, you're bad, you have no rights, hate yourself. And so now NASA is coming out and saying, a NASA-funded university, and saying that we've got to pay the carbon tax or aliens are going to kill us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not joking. You heard me right. It may not rank as the most compelling reason to curb greenhouse gases, but reducing our emissions might just save humanity from a preemptive alien attack, scientists claim, according to London Guardian report. A new study conducted by researchers at NASA's Planetary Science Division postulates that green ETs, literal green little men, might get angry at Bubba driving his gas-guzzling SUV and respond by whipping humankind off the face of the earth to protect other civilizations from carbon dioxide that plants breathe. The plants, I mean, you just can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. I go to birthday parties for my children's friends and their friends, and these families come over and they go, Alex, my child goes to public school. I'm pulling her out. Every time we drive by a building site, my 6-year-old daughter breaks down crying, saying the earth is dying. I mean, this is what they're... And meanwhile, the globalists don't care about the environment. They're not actually doing anything about chickens with alligator snouts. Do you know what splicing animals does? I mean, it gives rise to superviruses. You know how they test to see that a genetic mutation has been successful in a gene, in a cell they've changed? They put this is the main test they do, they put a antibiotic resistance in it, and then they test antibiotics on it to see if it kills the cells. And then there's big studies out showing that's giving rise to the antibiotic resistance. Did you have any idea that there's thousands of companies splicing everything randomly and how deadly dangerous that is? Oh, but let's not worry about that. Or toxic waste dumping, or nuclear power plants, 5 of them blow up, each one bigger than Chernobyl, total meltdown, massive radiation raining down on the U.S. EPA just raises the level of radiation, what they say safe, from 1,000 to 100,000 times what previously was. I mean, real environmental problems that are actually affecting us, but we're not taught by the establishment to worry about that. Like leading environmentalists who are globalists like George Monbiot, they call for global government and say, this radiation is good. Chernobyl changed my mind. Fukushima changed my mind was his headline in The Guardian about nuclear power. And you read and you go, this is crazy. No, they're just throwing it in your face. They're normalizing bizarreness. So, okay, I'm going to shut up and go to your calls because Serpico's coming up. There's no end to this anymore. There's no end. And they are teaching school children that aliens are going to kill us. If you don't pay Lord Rothschild and Rockefeller and Obama and Clinton and Gore, they all own part of the big climate exchange in Chicago and the one in London. Just type in Rothschild's own climate exchange. You'll get BBC News. How gracious they are to let us pay them money to breathe. I mean, and they just sit back laughing while they've got giant yachts and private trains and helicopters and jets and palaces everywhere. Their carbon footprint in some cases is thousands of times the average person. And then they actually lecture, don't take hot baths. You know, we get a maid service over to do our laundry when we get behind and too busy, and they lecture us about, we shouldn't wash too many of our clothes. We should wear them repeatedly. And I'm just like, water's renewable. We've got the healthy clothes washing stuff because we don't want chemicals on us. But do you know about genetic engineering? And the eyes just roll. I mean, look, you thought I'm joking? IBM unveils chip that mimics human brain, redrawing and rewinding evolution. Scientists alter chicken DNA to create embryo with alligator-like snout. Come on. You know how many thousands of pharmacological crops are growing open air that grow all sorts of live viruses in them? Don't believe me? Just type in Protigen, corn that grows live HIV virus in it. AP. Let me tell you something. That's the threat, not carbon dioxide, part of the lifestyle.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.